All right, welcome to Tuesday, presented by the Boston Chris Show. This is episode number 50, and this show features singer-songwriter Eddy DelMonico chatting about his song and a pick of the week. That is a classic song as well. Really looking forward to that. I appreciate everybody who is tuning in live. We are live every single Tuesday at 6 p.m. and 8 p.m. featuring a different singer-songwriter in each time slot. We are live on Facebook and Twitch. Thank you guys for tuning in if you are live. If you're not, that means you're probably on your favorite podcast platform or on YouTube, and thank you guys for tuning in there as well. Just remember, you can tune in live every Tuesday and join us then. But without any further ado, guys, we are going to get into it with our special guest this week, Mr. Eddy DelMonico. Let's get into it. Eddy DelMonico, how are you, my friend?
I'm all right. How are you today?
Not too bad, man. Just letting people know who you are a little bit, and excited to have you here, man. How you doing tonight?
It's good. I'm doing pretty well. Yes.
Where are you from originally? I couldn't find anything on that.
Well, originally I'm from Long Island, New York. Actually, the Bronx, actually.
Okay, nice. All right, very cool. Man, that leaves me a lot of questions right there, just alone.
Yep.
Not exactly a country music hotbed, huh?
No, but the hotbed of people like Dion on the Belmonts and a lot of the '50s doo-wop groups for sure.
Yeah, and there's that. You got some of that in you as well, right? How is music finding you as a young guy in the New York City area?
Well, I grew up around all of the groups of the '60s and the late '50s, like the Four Seasons, right? As I said, Dion on the Belmonts, Jay and the Americans. Oh my God, the Tokens.
Yeah.
I mean, the list goes on and on of all those great songs that came out of the late '50s and '60s.
Yeah, all good stuff, man. Doo-wop and the malt shop oldies is what they call it nowadays. But man, what great music that came out from those years. So simplistic, but just really added a lot of feel to music, right?
Yeah, most of them had four chords. That was it.
Yeah.
That made the songs. I mean, yeah, you could have a hit with four chords and somebody that could sound halfway decent.
Yeah, it had to be. It was all about vocals back then, man. You had to have talent, or you weren't going to make it. Like, there was so many different people trying to make it vocally, and radio ruled the age. So really, it didn't matter what you looked like. There was a lot of like, Milli Vanillion happening back then too. You know what I mean?
Well, the disc jockeys of the day, at least in New York, were cousin Bruce Morrow and Murray the K.
Yeah.
I got Murray the K and the Swingin' Soiree, okay? And then there was cousin Bruce Morrow, WABC. And they all broadcast through the Empire State Building, the tower on the Empire State Building. The radius was about 40 or 50 miles.
Yeah, I'd love. I've been reading your bio on your website, and it says you grew up with teen idols, country crooners, and rock and rollers of the British invasion. And boy, you can't find three different influences than that, right? Like the country crooners and British invasion alone is so far and different from each other.
It is. But I remember I was lucky because, I mean, I was there when Elvis went on Ed Sullivan. I remember seeing him. I was a young kid, but I remember it because it was so impactful. And then I remember very clearly when the Beatles were on Ed Sullivan, the very first night they came on.
Yeah.
That was like unbelievable when the Beatles landed at JFK Airport and they were held up in the hotel downtown waiting for on the Ed Sullivan show. The girls wouldn't get out of the street. And then finally, when they came on, I think they sang "She Loves You, Yeah, Yeah, Yeah." That was like one of the first songs they sang. Mm-hmm. And the place went crazy. I mean, I'm telling you, it was unbelievable. Then the next day in school, everybody was just going Beatle crazy. That was it.
I can't even imagine living in a time like that, right? Like I talk about, I know it's as far from the style of music as you can talk about. I talk about being fortunate that I live in the same era as like people like Taylor Swift, right? Like I live in that era. Like I would have loved to have been around when there was a new Elvis song coming out or something new with the Beatles or just like them as new artists just blows my mind, man. Like being introduced to that for the first time.
Yeah, it was really something. I mean, but not only was the Beatles came out, but as you know, right after them with the British invasion, oh my God, there was Jerry and the Pacemakers, Freddie and the Dreamers, There was so many groups from England that came
Yeah,
here,
the
right?
Birds. Yeah, there was so
It
many.
was unbelievable. Then the Dave Clark Five, then Petula Clark, who was Dave Clark's sister.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
so, like and it just kept on going. And Dusty Springfield was big back then out of England,
yeah.
and then but then Roy Orbison was always in the background, and then by that time Ricky Nelson had faded away, kind of. I guess his big last hit was in 1961 or two, Traveling Man. Then after that, he kind of took a back seat all the way up until 1972 when he played at Madison Square Garden and he sang that song Garden Party.
Yeah.
And then he came back again. Yeah, I think it was Ricky Nelson and the Stone Canyon Band. They kind of did their thing. And but then I remember very clearly the night in December of 1968 when Elvis did the comeback special. It was called the Singer Comeback Special.
Hmm.
And it was sponsored by Singer Sewing Machines, right? And I'm going to tell you something. That television event was monumental because when you saw Elvis on TV like that, and no one had seen him in I don't know how many years, I think 9 or 10 years, he hadn't been on television, or he was making those movies, and
Hmm.
he looked phenomenal. Then, of course, out of that whole thing came a series of incredible hits like Kentucky Rain, Suspicious Minds, and The Ghetto. They all came along right around that time. And then Elvis started touring. And then I guess the last big hit after the tour was like Burning Love, was 1972. And I was lucky enough to get to see Elvis live at Madison Square Garden in 1972. And let me tell you something, that was unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
I can't even explain it. To this day, it's still the most intense, electrifying concert I've ever seen in my life. And I've seen a lot of them. I was only 8 rows away from Elvis. And
Wow.
he really was what everyone says he was and then some. But it's just a shame the way he went downhill after that,
Yeah, I've heard some great stories from people that were close to Elvis. I've been very blessed to get to chat with people that were in his inner circle. My mom was fortunate enough to see Elvis too at the Boston Garden. She wasn't 8 rows away though; she was in the nosebleeds. But man, she talks about it all the time, and it's just that one moment in time made her such a huge Elvis fan for the next 50 years. When did this become something you saw yourself doing though?
Well, I was always interested in music when I was a kid. When I was like 8 or 9 years old, I began to play the guitar, and the biggest influence I had actually was Ricky Nelson, because again, you could ask your mother about this. Every week, I think it was Wednesday night or Thursday night, the Ozzie and Harriet show would be on.
Sure.
Okay,
Yeah.
and then Ozzie Nelson was smart enough to use the medium of television in the late 50s to launch Ricky Nelson. Remember, he'd play a song after every show.
Yeah.
Okay. And James Burton was right there next to him. Okay. James Burton on the guitar.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And
speaking of Elvis's inner circle, James Burton.
Well, yeah, there you go. There's James Burton, who of course went to play with Elvis, but he lived with Ozzie and Harriet and the family during the time when he came back from Louisiana, because Ozzie Nelson called him and wanted him to work with Ricky and back him up with the Imperials, because the Imperials backed up Ricky Nelson on all the background vocals,
Okay.
And they recorded at Imperial Records at the time, and or radio recorders. But Ricky Nelson was a big influence. My mother used to love Ricky Nelson. He was very clean cut, as you recall, back then.
Mm-hmm.
And he sang all those songs, Hello, Mary Lou, and all those great songs that he sang. And so I looked at him as a real idol to me. And then I began to learn some songs. And then throughout the 60s, I would write poems. And then as I got into high school, I began to write some of the songs similar to the ones you've heard on some of my cuts. And I never really did it seriously. Then, of course, I got older. I graduated high school. I worked. I joined the Navy. I came back. I got married. I had kids. I lived life. I had a job, So I was always fiddling around with the guitar. But then all of a sudden, actually, I went into the studio when I was 70 years old, which I had never done.
Wow.
And I went in there and I just played my guitar for this fella, Darren Shear, who's the owner of the Omnitone Studios. And he said, you might have something here. And he took my songs and he reorchestrated them. We updated them. and I had never been in a recording booth in my life. And what you see on my album is exactly what I did starting at 70.
That's incredible, man.
So I got to make up for lost time here. See what
You
I'm
damn
saying?
straight do. Yeah, I understand. Oh
That's it.
man, you are an inspiration, Eddie.
Well, thanks. I try hard. I'm going to be 73 in 2 weeks.
3 years in the business, essentially. Since I mean, not 3 years in the business, but 3 years
Yeah.
since you started recording.
Yep.
Are there regrets there? Like looking back, because I mean, life is important too, right? All the things you mentioned, all the different chapters of your life are just as important, I imagine. But do you wish you could have done it earlier?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I had some very good friends. One, namely, his name is Marcus Barone. You can look him up. He was he was really big into music, and he became a big executive with TriStar Pictures, Orion Pictures, Sony. He was a music director. We graduated high school together. So, he and I were good friends. I should have followed with him. Then another one, a guy named Vinny Giordano. If you look him up, Vinny Giordano and the Nighthawks. He is like a big band leader still in New York, but he's been in a lot of movies where they used the big band sound. So he became a band leader. Okay, and he's still very active today. And they call him for all the movies for the 1930s and 40s sound because that's what he does, right? So I don't know about regrets. I mean, look, yeah. I mean, if I started 30 years ago, maybe I'd be rich and famous by now. But let's put it this way: for the short amount of time that I've been doing it, I'm getting a fair amount of traction already. I
Absolutely.
really am. So I mean, something's coming along here. We keep creating new songs. Myself and Darren, we co-write songs, or I write them, he orchestrates them. But we share music writing credits because making a record is a village. It takes a village to make a record. Okay, and it's not just a one-man thing. And so it's a real tedious artistic task, but it takes a lot of time. People don't realize how much time it takes. And no artist just walks into the studio and cuts the record and leaves. It doesn't work that way.
No,
Okay?
absolutely not. Creation takes time. Yeah.
It takes a lot of time. I mean, there's certain records. I listen to the Elvis station on Sirius all the time. There are certain songs Elvis had to take 37 times. He did 37 takes, okay, before they got it, okay? So, I mean, that's a lot of, oh my God, that's unbelievable. But nowadays, with the technology, and back then they spliced the tape, you know what I mean?
Well,
They
another thing
spliced.
that Elvis used to do that a lot of people don't know, and I'm sure you probably do know this, being as big a fan as you are, like I am, Elvis would do 37 takes, and then he would
Yep.
tell the producer number 8 was the one he liked the most.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's amazing some of the stories,
Yeah.
but I mean, it's just got to knock your the socks off you to sit there and do the same song 37 times.
Crazy.
Where like today in the studio, it's all digital, right? So we can do punch-ins. I record it. We record it in 3 or 4 or 5 lines. Then we pick the best of them. Then we go in, we continue.
Yep.
Then if there's something off, we'll do a punch-in. I mean, so it's much quicker now because you don't have to go through all that,
Sure. Yeah. I
And
can't
that's
imagine doing the song over and over again.
Oh God.
And knowing, like he would do that, knowing that number 8 all along was the one he liked the best, but he was just such a perfectionist that he wanted to try to do better than that number 8. And
Right.
but he would get tired, and then he'd just be like, you know what, eventually he would just, I don't want to say settle, but he would choose number 8 or whatever it was that he heard. Just the memory that man had to remember which ones he liked the most, and
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Look, I'm telling you, it was a talent that was we lost way too soon,
yeah.
and it's just a shame that the way he went down. It was just a shame.
Yeah, man, we lost Elvis and the Beatles way too soon, man, for different reasons, right? And just
Yeah.
all that music we lost. Buddy Holly's another one, man. Like
Yeah.
all the music we lost back in the days because of either poor decisions or breakups
Yep.
or whatever. Here's a question for you: as you're living that life, you haven't recorded anything until you're 70, but you're living life. You've learned how to play guitar at some point, I imagine. Are you writing
Yeah.
all of this time as well? Are you creating
Well,
songs?
yeah. I just created a new Christmas song with Darren. I have another one. It's called "It's Over." I don't think you have that
Well,
one
I'm
yet.
talking about as you're living, like through your 20s,
Oh.
30s, 40s.
Not really that much. The creative juices with the songwriting only kind of came back when I was around 70 because it just did. Because I met Darren, and then we started collaborating on songs, which kind of woke me up again to the whole music thing. So yeah. So then we started. So now it's becoming almost, it's kind of funny. You get into it, it's like second nature. You begin to put the structure of a song together. Then I go talk to him. Then we figure it out. Then we fiddle around with it. The next you know, we have a song. Okay.
Yeah.
It's kind of wild how that works. Okay.
Yeah,
So,
and I love you talked about being in the studio and how that's when the real work really begins. And I agree.
oh,
Like
yeah.
that's where that's hard work being in the studio, and it can change the shape of songs that you've written as well. One of the things I love about you, Eddie, is you have a lot of songs out, and none of them, no two songs are the same style or vibe or genre.
Right.
Like
Right.
we played a song to start the show tonight. It was very country oriented. A lot of your stuff is a little old school with the old rock and roll vibes, rockabilly things like that. You're just writing straight from your influences, right?
More or less, yeah, that's kind of where it comes from. And plus, also, throughout the years, I had different romantic things, especially when I was young, and that was the influence for a lot of my songs was the breakups, the lost loves, the new loves, and the loves yet to be found. Okay,
Yeah.
so that kind of a thing. So I did that. Yeah, so some of my genre is contemporary, a lot of country, serious kind of real heartfelt stuff. That's why we named the album "Songs from the Heart."
Yeah. I love the country vibes. So like when I hear a country song come from somebody, and then you tell me you're from the Bronx, that shit don't add up, man. Like,
Well, yeah, well, I always considered myself different. It's
yeah,
like I used to tell people I was from Chicago.
okay,
It sounded more,
yeah,
you know, and I'm from Long Island, New York, and it's like I listen to all the Long Islanders. It's like you watch the movie Goodfellas. I'll tell you what, that is so accurate how it was in Long Island. You have no idea.
yeah,
Okay, perfect depiction of how it was. Okay, but I was never like that. I was a little different. I was a little quieter, a little introspective. Then when I joined the Navy and I left Long Island, I met a lot of guys from all over the country. That further made me feel a little kind of different. Then when I went back, I only was there briefly. Then I moved to New Jersey. Then I moved to Chicago. Then from Chicago, I moved to Florida. Then from Florida, I moved to Dallas. Then I moved to, to Arizona, and then I've been in Vegas here now 23 years.
wow. So you and I have a very similar story. I'm from Massachusetts, south of Boston, and
Ah,
I left that area because of the Navy as well, joining the
oh,
Navy.
really?
Yeah. And much like you, I've been all over the place since. I've been in Mississippi and Florida and Virginia, and now I'm in Texas, and I've been in Texas since '01, and probably be here the day I die. So,
There
yeah,
you go.
yeah, it's just funny having similar stories. And I grew up as a very traditional country music fan as well because of my dad. Let's talk a little bit about the featured song this week from you. It is your new single. It's called "I Don't Know Why I Love You." Tell us about this song, Eddie.
Well, that one I created that song a long time ago, and it was all about a girl in high school that I liked, and that was just what I came up with. I don't know why I love you, right? So like, I mean, I just did, and then I wrote that song a long time ago. In fact, that's one of the first songs I played for Darren when I met him, because I walked in his studio, and frankly, I was intimidated because he said, "Okay, let me hear what you got," and I had never did it before, so I just sat there and strummed the song out, and he was actually recording me on the phone, okay, listening to it, okay, and he said, "I think you got something here." So then he said, "I'll call you in a couple of days." So he took the song and he kind of reorchestrated it, similar to what you hear on the record. And then I went in the studio and I cut the record. Then he added in all the background vocals and the other instruments and so on. But I mean, again, that's kind of the history of that. So that song actually is well over probably about 58 years old.
Wow.
Seriously.
Really cool. Really
Yes.
cool. Yeah, good stuff. I do have a question from our live chat. I've been holding on to it though because
Sure.
we do have our pick of the week, and this week it's Eddie's pick of the week. And every week we ask our special guests to choose a song from a different artist that they would like to feature. And Eddie has picked "Only the Lonely" from Roy Orbison, just one of my favorite artists, and we've already mentioned Roy a little bit as well. So the question from our chat is, what are your thoughts on Roy Orbison? I've loved his ability to deliver perfect notes and timeless songs. Thank you.
Yes. Well, first of all, if you look at my website, Only the Lonely is on there. I covered it. Okay.
Yes. Yep.
So I did a cover of Only the Lonely. Roy Orbison, and this is according to Elvis. Elvis said Roy Orbison was the greatest singer that ever lived. Elvis said, and it's documented, that he never wanted to be on a stage with Roy Orbison because Roy Orbison could outsing him. Okay, so I thought Roy Orbison had a phenomenal range. To my recollection, he had a 3-octave range. Okay, so therefore, I think Roy Orbison's phenomenal. Only the Lonely is a great song. That's why I picked it as a cover, and I did my best with it. Okay, but you could be the judge of it if you've listened to it. You got to let me know. I also did a cover of Maybe Baby, which is on my thing too, and both of those songs, by the way, are just out now as singles. They'll be coming out as singles.
Yeah, I'd love your choice of covers that I see on your website here. Another one I really love is "Doing the Best That I Can."
Oh yes, that's an
Which is-
Elvis.
Yeah, an
That's-
old Elvis song. Yeah, I love that tune as well. Donna's on here as well, which was Paul Anka, if I remember correctly.
No. This is my own version of Donna. Is one I wrote
Okay.
about a girl named Donna in high school. It's different than Don. No, Donna was Richie Valens.
Richie Valens, yeah.
You're thinking of Richie Valens.
Yeah,
Okay?
you're right. Diana was Paul Anka, right?
Diana that was his babysitter, right?
Yeah.
So, Donna's a girl I went out with in high school. So I wrote that song for her. That's the last song of the original songs that are on the reel, and the covers, which are what do you call it? Maybe Baby, Only the Lonely, Doing the Best That I Can. Yesterday by the Beatles, I did. Then also Am I Ready? So I got 3 Elvis covers. Yesterday, and then I've got Maybe Baby and Only the Lonely.
Yeah, and and are all these on Songs from the Heart, or is that different?
No, they're all on Songs from the Heart.
So it's basically some covers and some originals. So how did you choose the
10
covers?
originals and 7 covers.
Yeah.
10 originals, 7 covers. Yeah.
So 17 songs. So how are you choosing the songs that make the record?
Well, I just, these are ones I wanted to do as covers, and I just decided to do them. That's all. I mean, I like Doing the Best That I Can is from the Elvis movie 1961 GI Blues.
Yep.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So you could see him singing it there, and I really felt that song. I thought I could do it well, so I did it. And then Am I Ready is from another one of the movies that he did, and I did my version of that. So again, his songs, but I tried to make them sort of mine in a way, the way I did. But Doing the Best I Can came out quite well, and Maybe Baby and Only the Lonely too. Did you listen to my version of Only the Lonely?
Mm-hmm. I sure have.
Yeah, hitting that high note was not easy.
I imagine. Oh, I imagine.
That was tough. So, but maybe Baby was pretty easy because that's only like a 1-octave range. It's not too hard to do. Yeah. So, but it came out well too. A lot of people like it. We're releasing it as singles, coming out as singles.
Very cool stuff, and I appreciate you being here, Eddie. If people are hearing about you for the first time, what's the best way for them to follow along and support you as an artist?
Well, they go to my website, eddydelmonico.com. EDDYDELMONICO.com. And then I sang at the, the Grand Ole Opry in June. And I'm going back to the Texas Troubadour Theater December 13th. And I'm going to be singing a song you don't have. It's called It's Over. That's the name of the new song I did.
Very cool, yeah.
I could send it to your phone because I only have it on a file that I got from my phone. But
sure.
If you wanted to hear it, but I could send it to you. If you gave me your phone number, I'd send it to you. But I don't know if you could convert it to play it on the air or not. I have no idea. But it's a new one, and I'm working on a new Christmas song. And we're constantly creating new songs. Maybe 1 or 2 every 2 months. We're trying to do it.
Yeah.
And I work a full-time job too. I get up at 4:00 in the morning. I walk 3 miles. I'm one of those. Okay.
Man, Eddie, I think you're an inspiration, man. What would you tell people that think that that it's too late for them to start in music or something?
Well, it's what it is. Frankly, it's a really honestly, it's a matter of health, because if you don't have your health, you don't have anything. And frankly, believe it or not, I just lost my wife 3 weeks ago.
Oh man.
She passed of ovarian cancer. Okay. And she had it for 10 months, and it was a bad battle. Okay. And then this coming November 29th, I lost my 42-year-old son in Michigan to something called kratom. You ever hear of kratom?
I have, yes.
Well, I'm telling you, it's bad stuff. Don't take it.
Okay.
You could buy it everywhere. It's an extract from a tea leaf of some sort. He was taking it, and he OD'd on it, and his wife found him dead in bed. That was it. I talked to him the night before. She calls us up in the morning and says he's dead. I couldn't believe it. So had to bury him just in December 13th, 2 years ago. And then my wife, Carol, early December was diagnosed with stage 4 ovarian cancer, and she only lasted till October 3rd.
Man.
So I've been down the road, but I'm very faithful. I mean, I believe, I think my son is safe with God. I think that Carol is safe with Jesus. So I'm okay with it. Actually, it doesn't blow me away because none of us are getting out of this alive. Okay.
Yeah.
So the bottom line is that you got to take care of yourself. And one good thing, I never smoked. I never drank. I never did drugs. I never even smoked dope. I never did any of that stuff. And as I said, I walk 3 miles a day. I do 100 jumping jacks, push-ups, sit-ups, nothing too dramatic. But I take a lot of liquid vitamins, and I just don't overdo anything. I'm still going pretty well. I have no real issues at all, really.
Yeah.
And again, it's about what you are, what you eat. That's a fact. Okay. If you eat a lot of junk, you're going to be bad. It's going to be bad, and you got to be careful because everything today is really so processed and full of chemicals.
Yeah.
You got to really pick what you eat because you walk in the supermarket, you don't know what to pick because all of it's something else and it's loaded with sugar or some bad chemicals. So I cook fresh food for myself and my little dogs, and I'm just looking forward to the next chapter. With the music. The music has been a great salvation to me during these sad times. So again, I'm just looking at the next chapter. My real job, I'm the sales manager for a company called Elite Foam and Packaging, and we do all the architectural foam for the hotels in Vegas and for the contractors, and all the things you see, the faux stone in the hotels that they shoot stucco on. We make the foam for that stuff. So I work a full-time job, then I do the music at night or on the weekends. I'm working with a performance coach this Sunday because I'm getting geared up for this Nashville gig, December 13th. So when I go out there, I look like I know what I'm doing. So we'll see what happens. You know what I mean?
I think you're going to be fine, Eddie. I appreciate you coming on the show tonight, man, and sharing your story with me. And yeah, man, you're in my thoughts, man. And yeah, keep your head up. I think you know what's going on, and it sounds like you got a good grasp on things. And man, you're an inspiration. I appreciate you telling your story with us tonight, man.
Quite all right. That's all right.
All right, man. You have a good rest of your evening. We're going to get into the music. All right, guys, we're going to get into the music right now. Man, what an inspiration. Eddy DelMonico here on the show for the very first time. We are going to showcase his brand new song. It's called I Don't Know Why I Love You, written 58 years ago. But it is his new single. So 58 years from the time it was written to the time it was released as a single. Here it is. I Don't Know Why I Love You by Eddy DelMonico.
So I only know that I really do. And if you say that you really need me, girl, you know that I'm gonna be with you. I don't know why I want you so. I only know that I really do. And if you say that you really want me, girl, you know that my time is just for you. From the morning when I wake up to the evening when I sleep, well, you know, my pretty little darling, I'll have you, hold you, and keep you to you. I don't know why I love you so. say that you really need me, girl, you know that I'm gonna be with you. From the morning when I wake up to the evening when I sleep, well, you know, my pretty little darling, I'll have you, hold you, and keep you to you. I don't know why I love you so, I only know that I really do. And if you say that you really love me, girl, you know that I'm gonna love you too. You know that my loving's just for you. You know that my loving's just for you.
All right, Eddy DelMonico, Songs from the Heart. I Don't Know Why I Love You. Awesome stuff. Thank you so much, Eddy. And here is Eddy's pick of the week. Only the Lonely by Roy Orbison is Eddy DelMonico's pick of the week. Thank you once again, you guys, for tuning in to Tuesday number 50, presented by the Boston Chris Show. Appreciate you guys for being here, and let you know we are live every single Tuesday on Twitch and Facebook, 6 p.m., 8 p.m. Next week's guests will be Jennifer Alvarado and the Texas legend Jamie Richards. Next week, live here on Tuesday. Do not miss it. And thank you guys for watching tonight. Follow everywhere at The Boston Chris Show. Much love.